What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Homebrew Subaru. I know it's been a little while, and it's actually going to take me a little bit to get back into the swing of things because I kind of completely forgot how to YouTube again. Today's a little different episode. The friend that I sold the Audi to had a dead battery a couple times this past 2 weeks and would like me to put a new battery in it for her. So I've got a new battery. I decided I'm going to also do the oil change for it. The engine's developed pretty good noise, which I suspect is in the top end. Listening to it this morning, it sounds like the timing chain is finally slack enough that it's starting to rattle on the cover, or it's got some kind of strange lifter problem. But the noise seemed to quiet down after it warmed up a little bit. And then I drove it here, and I mean, it sounds like a little tractor. So it's something I'm probably going to have to address in the future. The car's certainly worth saving. So doing an engine repair again, you know, it's not something I'm looking forward to, but it's better than replacing the whole engine and the thing. But I figured changing the oil is probably the best thing for it right now because I just don't have the time and space to be working on that thing right now. I've still got my own stuff to work on, but there's a good possibility I might be bringing back the Audi for another engine repair, maybe in the springtime. So today is just basically an oil change and a battery. I'm not going to do too much how-to because it's quite straightforward how to do an oil change, and I may have actually shown that before on another vehicle, but regardless, I'm going to whip in the new battery. And on the Audis, they sit up here in the back. So this tray does need to come off. And then I think there is a clamp down there holding it. Looks like there is. So I'll have to unbolt the little bracket holding the battery in, and then it'll pop out of there. I also want to check the coolant level because the car I think it's got somewhat of a semi-blocked heater core, and it doesn't get fabulous heat inside until you're like stepping on it. So I just want to make sure the coolant level's up and just give it a quick glance over, top up the windshield washer fluid for her, and then call it good. So I'm just going to quickly drop the oil, and then once I've got that done, I'll set up the camera and go about taking off this tray and replacing the battery, and at least show how that's done. And then at the end of the episode, there'll be some Christmas holiday wishes. How about that? Okay, so first things first, I think I gotta pull off this hood trim or weather stripping for the hood, and then this guy should just kind of lift right out of here. There's no bolts or clips that hold that in, just kind of fit it into place. And here we get past like what's considered like a fire retainer, so if, you know, the engine does catch fire, the battery's actually protected from it somewhat, at least from open flame. But this is like a second compartment back in here, and if you have to do the heater hoses, you're pretty much, they're right here, and you have to dig down in through the bottom of that this separator in order to get them in and out. Not a very fun job. I did replace those because of the plastic fittings leaking at the other end. So really it's just some 10mm nuts that tighten the battery. And really I should have started with the ground side. The thing behind working with the ground side first, if the battery is still connected and we touch ground, which the body of the car is ground, then we won't get any arcing or sparking. But if the battery is hooked up and we're loosening this positive and we hit that ground over here, you're going to have a good chunk out of your wrench and see a good light show. So generally work with the ground first. Once you have it off, this terminal becomes dead because it's an open loop, and you can literally touch ground with it and not have anything happen. looks like there's an Allen bolt holding the battery retainer in. And the battery retainer bolt is a 6mm hex. And then they actually give you a little handle to pull that out and drop it back in, which is kind of nice. GM would never think of something like that. And then it might be a bit of a hard lift, but this guy should just pull out of here. And now to drop in the replacement battery. This one is a little bigger. The old one was 730 cold crank. This one's got 790. I should be able to just drop this guy right back in and tighten it down. And there, now that that's tightened in. Many European batteries, some other batteries, they usually have a venting line that'll pop right into the top cap of the battery so that any of the gases kind of displace elsewhere. But always a good thing to have that hooked back up. I think the old one had it popped off of there. And then going back together, we'll start with the positive, because without the ground side hooked up, we can't arc on the body at all. You want to make sure your battery terminal is nice and tight, that you can't wiggle it. And you want to make sure they're down all the way on the terminal, so they have the most contact that they can. That one feels good and tight. And that's basically it. Battery's installed. I just got to put the tray back in, weather stripping, and that's that. Sometimes weather stripping can be a little bit of a pain, but as long as you get it in, get the lip in where it needs to go, it really just holds itself in place, really. And that's that. I don't have that battery cover. This is something that I didn't actually get with the car, but I've got the oil top back up, and should be good. So the old battery actually restarted the car after the oil change. So from boosting the car at her place, driving it over here, it got reasonably charged up enough that it started the car again. But today's a really mild day, and I think if the cold temps hit again and she leaves it for a couple days, that it probably wouldn't restart. So this battery is going to start the car all winter long, no problem. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. I wish I did have more, and I've just been really concentrating on other things. And just these last couple days, I've really not had a lot of energy. I'm not really sick, but I'm just out of it, and I don't know why. I haven't been drinking, and I just don't feel right. Like my head's kind of like in a haze. But managed to get that done. I'm glad I got it done for her. Now she just doesn't have to worry about it anymore. She can drive it the rest of the winter, and then come springtime, I'll probably have to take a look at the engine and see if it's something I can repair or not. I'd really like to repair it to save the money for her. But we'll see what happens when that time comes, right? Other than that, of course, it's Christmas and the holidays are here. I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, or whatever you might be celebrating. But I don't generally do a lot of festive celebration, so this is kind of my celebration right here, right now. So if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.